Good afternoon. It's May 24th, and my thing is jerking for some reason. I'm here in the Hotel Saskatchewan, but I'm going to be heading home and taking a roundabout route just to stretch it out a bit for interest's sake. It was pretty cool earlier, but the sun's come out, so I'm probably going to be too warm. But anyway, well, why do they have that all blocked off again? They just recently did all that work. See, the fountain's not on yet. Thought I'd walk over a couple of streets and then down and maybe go a bit by the lake just to make it more interesting. So we'll walk along the colonnade here, which is always fun. Why is it doing that? It's jerking, and I don't know why. Restart it here. It seems to think it's locked. Maybe that was it. I unlocked it, but maybe I locked it again by accident. Anyway, here we go along the colonnade for the SAS Power Building. As a start, as I said, they just recently redid all this stuff, which they've now covered with fencing again for some reason. Don't know what that's all about. Made it into a nice little plaza here. Brood Awakening is a place I've often gone to write, though not today. But I was working on my own fiction today. I'm trying to establish Fridays, establish, because I've never done it before, as the day I work on my own stuff and publishing stuff go hang. Although that said, I spent the whole morning on other stuff. But that's the goal. Maybe I'll get there. We'll see. Very exciting day because this is opening night for Beauty and the Beast, Regina Lyric Musical Theatre's Beauty and the Beast. And I'm playing Maurice. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram at Edward Willett Author, or on Twitter at @ewillett, you can see a picture of me as Maurice taking a dress rehearsal last night, emoting all over the place as I beg Belle to leave the castle before the beast grabs her. Good thing she doesn't, because there'd be no play. I actually walked a lot yesterday, even though I didn't live stream it. I walked more than 10,000 steps, but it was all in little chunks that didn't make much sense to live stream. So, Crave here, nice place. Used to be the Assiniboia Club once upon a time. And the Motherwell building here, old office building turned into condos. My brother has a condo in here when they're visiting their family. His daughters live in here and in Moose Jaw. I don't think I'll go all the way to Broad, though. I'll turn down Rose Street here. Because it's not a street I walk along very often. Probably walk along Broad more than I walk along Rose. See, even walking downtown, I can't avoid dogs. Run into them everywhere. Cross over to the other side. It's a one-way street, so that is an easy thing to do without getting run over. Look up Rose as we go by Main Street Boutique Apartments. Never been in there. Don't know how boutique they are. And next to them is quite a new condo building with a coffee shop in it that I've also written at occasionally. This used to be the bus station over here. You used to go here to pick up parcels, but not anymore. Somebody said hello. I am good. That cad? I am good. Going to be too warm if I stay in the sun. It was chilly earlier, but not now. The Gardens on Rose. And then it's called Fix Coffee here, where I'm going to be really warm actually. I should find more shady streets to walk on. I take off my sweater, but that's very difficult to do when I'm carrying a computer bag and a gimbal. Called to the theater about 6 for a 7:30 start tonight. Almost sold out, so that's exciting. Theater holds 430, 450, something like that. And it's almost sold out every night, so every performance. So that's good. Hi, Jolly. It always seems like a nice apartment building, though I've never been in it. I like the sort of curve in the front of it and the orange roof there. Never been in that one either. Funny that. Even in a small city, there are thousands of places you've never been. Even in Weyburn, there were probably thousands of places I'd never been, and it's only 10,000 people. Summer I spent in Rosthern, I think I was just about everywhere. Not in people's houses, but I certainly saw every building in town. It's a very small town. Well, that was 25 years ago, so almost 20, maybe 24 years ago this summer. I was doing a show called Tent Meeting at the Station Arts Center in Rosthern. I remember I was doing a show on my birthday, and they sort of sang happy birthday for me with the audience, so that was cool. 24 years ago. And Sapphiron, hello. Abstractions Cafe Bistro here. On the other side of this wall. This is an art gallery, which I've never been into. I like the green, though. I have been in here. And a version of this made it into one of my Shards of Excalibur YA fantasy books. I called it something else, but this is the place I was thinking of. Oof. My computer bag seems particularly heavy today. Don't know why. Nothing unusual in it. My headphones are in there, but they don't weigh as much as it feels like there's extra weight. Guess I'm just tired. There used to be a Chinese restaurant over here, but which I never ate at, and now I guess I never will because I don't think it's there anymore. It was in that rather abandoned-looking house right there. Yeah, I think that's empty. Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. Here it is. It's still here. Oh, there, I just lied, didn't I? Restaurant and bakery. So I don't think it's the Chinese restaurant I remember. Something else. Interesting. Never been in there. Wasn't in it in its previous incarnation and haven't been in it in its new one. The temperature here, I didn't check before I set out. It was about 14 predicted for a high today, so it's somewhere around that. But it feels a lot warmer in the sun. Yeah, there was an era when everything looked like that. Yeah, I've been to Poland and a long time ago, but probably even more so then. I was there when it was still communist, and in Hungary as well. Saw a lot of those kind of Soviet-style flats. Yep. But we're not in Eastern Europe, so I don't know why they built them like that here. I remember when these were built. They're condos. Tennis courts over there that I think belong to that apartment building there. Another block will take us to College Avenue. Yeah, those there. Not exactly an inspiring architectural wonder. Still remember our government tourist guide in communist Poland, who was liked to read us the production statistics for various chemical plants we were passing and things like that. Somebody overheard him telling somebody that he preferred Russian tourists because Russian tourists did what they were told and Americans weren't very obedient. Now this is kind of a different one here. White brick and the balcony. Vernfield Lodge, it's called. And this is a nice one. Never been in there. I knew somebody that lived there once, but I've never been in one of the apartments. It's been there a long time, but it's certainly got at least more interesting to look at. Alrighty. I will cross the street here one way or another. There's not a crosswalk right here, so I'll probably go down to the light and then maybe go down to the lake since I haven't been down there for a few days. It's the college building in front of us. No, it's the soundstage in front of us. I can't read all those comments. Going by too fast. Unless there's no traffic coming, in which case I'll go ahead and cross, which I think I can. On this side of it, at least. Yeah, I'll make it across all right. College Avenue here. So as I always point out, this is a facade. Only the tower is old. Everything else was rebuilt behind the original brickwork. So it's a brand new building on the other side. Well, I suppose they kept structural steel, but other than that. And Creative Saskatchewan is down at this end, and so is Sask Books, of which I'm vice president. And so Saskatchewan Motion Picture, no, sorry, it's not that anymore. So Saskatchewan Multimedia Production Industry Association is in there, and if there's a movie being shot, they'd have their production offices in there. It's cool whenever the sun is not shining on me, but when the sun is shining on me, it's way too hot. Well, not hot, but warm because I'm wearing a sweater. It's this side of the building. Used to be teachers' college, and when I first moved to Regina, the theater department and various artsy departments of the university were in there, in the old building. Now you get to about here, and you'll see that all the windows are black. It's because now you're into the sound stage. This is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation building ahead of us, much diminished from its glory days, both what's in there and the CBC itself. Alas, is not what it once was. And I was on it for more than 17 years, probably 20 years. I was a regular guest on the afternoon edition. 17 years of doing science columns, and then I did some shorter things for a few months before they finally decided they couldn't afford freelancers anymore, I guess. It was nice while it lasted. These are new here, but they are very much in the style of the older ones. See, that's an old one there. And then new ones made to match the historic look of buildings in Regina. Naked Bean over there is one of my daughter's favorite coffee shops. And here's the side of the CBC. Down Baden Boulevard there. I've walked down there a few times to seniors facilities down at the end. A lot of condos along the way. There's a pub over here I've only ever been to once. Didn't like it much and haven't been back. So, you only get one chance to make a first impression. The Lobby, it's called. It was just kind of noisy and uninspired and not a particularly pleasant place to hang out. So I never went back. Maybe it's better now. We'll head over this way. Last time I did this, I walked by a bunny rabbit. Here's a crow. One of the things I did yesterday was a stress test, so I could have live streamed that, but it would have been really boring listening to me pant. Everything was fine. I did 9.5 minutes. I probably could have gone 10 or more, but they had what they needed, so I didn't push it. That's all that stuff. Oh, cars. Oh, I understand where we are. Right. I forget that the parking lot. Oh, there he is again. Probably the same one I startled the other day. Oh, there's a couple of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6. Land of Living Skies. That's our nickname. Our motto. So it's on the license plate. Oof. Last time I walked down by the pool. Today I think I'll go out into the lake. So I walked into a branch. Don't need to go through the parking lot. I will cut through the grass here. Or maybe I will go down the parking lot just to remind you that this is an important location for my book. Oh, and also look at all the baby geese. My book, Song of the Sword, which starts my Shards of Excalibur young adult fantasy series, starts right here in this parking lot. Or at the end of the parking lot. Look at all the goslings. Geese kind of share gosling attention duty. There's more over there, yeah. Definitely the goslings are afoot. Right, so in Song of the Sword, the Lady of the Lake from King Arthur shows up right about there in the water. Tells the local girl that she's now the Lady of the Lake if she accepts the power of the Lady of the Lake. And she and the boy who are with her, Wally Knight, have to go find the scattered shards of Excalibur. More goslings. Before Merlin can. Oh, that's pretty. That's Willow Island over there. And then his modern day guys, his name is Rex Major, and he's like let's take a shortcut here. He's like a Bill Gates, Steve Jobs kind of computer guy. Yep, this is the Jewels of the City, Wascana Center. It's quite large. It's actually larger than New York Central Park. Here's Lilacs are in bloom. It's not, a perfect rectangle like Central Park, much more strung out along the creek, but in actual total area, it's larger than Central Park. More lilacs. We'll take the shortcut again, past another lilac bush. That's why we stay closer to the lake, right there all the time. Dark Hall, where I'll be performing, is right over there. I'll be there in 2 hours and 40 minutes at the latest. Start getting ready for the show. Sometimes I get spotty internet connection down here because of the leaves, but it seems to be hanging in all right today. Thirsty. I'll be home soon enough. Thanks, Black Cat. You too. Get some nice glimpses of the lake through the bushes along here. And then we come up to the path itself. The new pool, which I walked by not too long ago, is up there. I don't think it's open yet, but it shouldn't be long. So there's a good look at the lake with the legislative building on the right. Robinson Plaza. That's what they call those apartments over there. Albert Street Bridge up ahead. The aeration fountain. Oh, you can really smell these ones. That's not lilacs. That's a cherry tree, that one. Make sure I stay in focus. Good look at the legislative building. It's a very nice day. I just wish I wasn't wearing my sweater. It'd be perfect with the sweater, just a little warmer than I'd like. Oh well, I'll be sweating tonight in the show anyway. And I don't even have choreography. The ones in the big dance numbers work a lot harder than I do. So I just have 3 or 4 scenes. I say goodbye to Belle. We have a song. I get set upon by wolves. That's the most active thing I do. I find my way into the castle, where I discover the enchanted objects, and I get taken prisoner by the beast, who objects to my having shown up unannounced. Belle comes to rescue me. I burst into the tavern after Gaston song. They throw me out. I say, I'll go back and get her out myself, and that's the last you see of me till midway through the second act.
No squirrel, buddy. No squirrel. Come on.
So quite a bit in the first act, but I'm not in the second act very much at all. And then bows. I'm in those. There's a nice number with Belle, but she sings it. I have to just emote on a bench listening to her. The change in me. We'll look across the lake with the fountain. Oh, and there's somebody in a kayak. Or a canoe. I think it's a kayak. Or kayak-like, anyway. And up here's the sinkhole. Maybe I'll take this path just to avoid that. So we'll leave the lake. There's the bridge. When everything's working normally, you can walk under the bridge, but because of the sinkhole, that's been closed off for a long time now. Apparently it was an underground pipe that created that hole, and they haven't filled it in yet. Well, they have. They've lined it with concrete, and they've got pumps in it, but they've done nothing to properly fill it in. So I don't know what the long-term plan is. It's been a year now, or more, since that popped up, or dropped down, however you want to look at it. And we'll get up here, we'll cross Albert Street, and then we're practically home. You can get something cold to drink. Another blooming tree there. A couple of them. This is the Speaker's Corner. These lamps actually did once stand in London, Hyde Park. Of course, free speech is seen as an evil thing these days. Not too many people, but not me, I'm a writer. It's the one most important. It's the most important right that we have. And the fact that so many of our ruling elite seem to object to it because people get to express opinions contrary to what they would like to hand down from on high is the gravest ill currently plaguing our society, from which a lot of other ills descend. There you go. That is today's political moment. If it's really politics, I don't think it's politics, but it should just be common sense. But oh, their garage is open. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's closing even as I go by, though, so I can't look in. Harrington Mews, I mentioned Wally Knight back at the parking lot where the Shards of Excalibur starts. That's where he lives. In a fictional house in a real location, as I always say. I've never exactly put the neighborhood into a book, but in my novel Magebane by Lee Arthur Chayne, fantasy novel, it's a fantasy city inspired by Regina. So the king lives in the Marble Palace, which is what the legislative building is often called. And there's a dome over it and its surroundings that makes it always spring. And based on how I described it in the book, if that dome were real, it would also cover our house. So maybe there's a bit of wishful thinking going on there. A dome keeping it always spring in all of this area. Because this is spring, but it'll be winter again soon enough. By October, all these leaves will be gone. By November, there'll be snow. Probably sooner. But snow to stick probably in November. And then it's the next April before it melts again. So, such is life in Saskatchewan. But right now, it's at its peak green prettiness and pleasant temperatures. It can get unpleasantly hot in the summer, but it's far less often here than other places. I mean, record temperature for Canada was set in Saskatchewan back in the 30s. Melville, I think it was. Or was it Mydale? Mydale. 114 Fahrenheit, I believe it was. Kids coming home from school, I would say. We still got school until another month probably, and well into June. Probably coming from Davin School up there, now called the Crescents, but I'll always call it Davin, where my daughter went to school. Some time ago now, since she's 22. It is true that time seems to go amazingly fast as you get older. And I know it actually moves at the same pace, but I think it's because you have so many memories connected to things and events that when you're reminded of them, it seems like that was just yesterday. Like Beauty and the Beast, I did it in Saskatoon. That was over 16 years ago now. Seems like a year or two ago. Or, you know, daughter being in elementary school. Seems like a couple of years ago, but it was over 8 now. Heck, me being in school doesn't seem all that long ago. And that was 45 years since I graduated from university. It'll be this Christmas. 48 years. Is that right? Yes, 48 years since I graduated from high school. This month, next month, June 5th will be the 48th anniversary of my high school graduation. I was 16, to be fair. I was young, but still. Okie dokie. We will stop here. Thanks for walking with me. And yeah, probably no walking tomorrow because we've got 2 shows to do for Beauty and the Beast at Dark Hall. ReginaLyric.com if you want to know more about the organization. And Sunday we have an afternoon matinee, so unlikely that day either. So it might be Monday before I walk again. But that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Bye.